Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden and today I'm going to be reviewing a whiskey that I got for my birthday, and it is J. Henry & Sons Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now this is a whiskey straight from my home state of Wisconsin, and it's in the southern region, southwestern region of Wisconsin, so near the Madison area, if anyone knows where that is, southwest of Green Bay. So basically kind of middle south of the state. So this particular whiskey from J. Henry & Sons is 92 proof. That comes out to 46% alcohol. It is 5 years old. It used to have an age statement right there, but for some reason this bottle does not have an age statement. So I don't know if they took that off or if this is just a particular bottle that didn't have it for some reason. But this is 5-year-old age stated whiskey, and it's 92 proof, and it retails for around $54 as MSRP. So that being said, the back of the bottle has some interesting notes on how it's aged here in Wisconsin, and it says, "For over 65 years, our family has grown superior corn, wheat, and rye on Henry Farms. Now I am privileged to offer a bourbon made with the same exact standards from these high-quality ingredients to grow on our farm. The key to our exceptional bourbon is the heirloom red corn developed in the 1930s by the University of Wisconsin. I selected this corn from a robust flavor it imbues and the tradition it represents. Our bourbon is slow-aged in large barrels in a rustic barn on our farm. This allows the wild Wisconsin temperature swings to work their magic between the bourbon and the barrels. This result is an exceptional bourbon with unique flavor profiles and character to be sipped and savored. Reward yourself and celebrate the fruits of your labor." So that being said, you guys heard it straight from the horse's mouth. This bottle is aged in a barn here in Wisconsin, and for someone who lives in Wisconsin, I can tell you the temperature difference is pretty wild. I mean, on a hot summer day, it can reach up to 100 degrees with like 80% humidity, and then on a cold winter day, it could range anywhere from -10 degrees to -30 degrees. And within the last 5 years, which is how old this is, there was a time in the winter where it got so cold outside, they said if you were outside for more than 5 minutes without a hat or gloves or any kind of exposed skin, you would get hypothermia. So this bottle would have been aged during that time, but that's pretty exciting stuff. Now the mash bill of this bottle contains a few interesting ingredients, all from their farm here in Wisconsin, and that is 60% heirloom red corn, 14% heirloom glacier winter wheat, and 14% heirloom Spooner rye, and finally 12% malted barley, which they source from a different farm here in Wisconsin. So all the grains that go into this alcohol are Wisconsin sourced and pretty special. So that being said, I'm going to pour it in the glass and I'm going to let you guys know how fantastic this whiskey is. So, it did get 93 points, excellent, highly recommended at the Ultimate Spirits Challenge in 2019. So, it does have an award like that, so whether that means anything, I'll let you guys be the judge. But right away on the nose, I'm going to let you guys know how this is. Okay, so first thing I'm getting is a mix between like this bready, fresh bready note, probably coming from the winter wheat, the glacier winter wheat. I'm also getting a sort of vegetal note, like that corn, the grains are still coming through on this bottle. One thing in particular that I'm getting a lot here on the nose is a sour green apple. It definitely has some of that caramel sweetness in there, something that typical bourbon notes have, but really I kind of am focusing on that sour green apple note. I had this after drinking Crown Apple, or taking a shot of Crown Apple the other day on live stream, so it kind of pulled that note forward, but now I have a fresh palate and I'm smelling it for the first time, and it's an undeniable green apple taste in here. Literally like green apple Jolly Ranchers, so very potent green apple notes in here, but all mixed in with that nice caramel, so like a carameled apple, and a little bit of that graininess and that fresh bread note from the winter wheat. Overall coming together in a really nice, complex, but balanced nose on this one. But I'm gonna get it on the palate and let you guys know how it tastes. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Right away, that green apple follows all the way to the palate. Right on the forefront of the tongue. That first instinct I got was that green apple, kind of like light fruity notes, but it's followed by that sweet caramel sweetness. And envelops your tongue with a little bit of oak spice and cinnamon. But on the finish of this is where this one probably really shines the best. And the finish offers this great overwhelming rye spice, and it just comes back up and it warms your esophagus, and it honestly is fantastic. The rye spice in this is very prominent, probably coming from their heirloom Spooner rye, but this is a very grain-forward bourbon, but in a good way. A lot of times grain-forward whiskeys tend to be young or not as nice. People kind of consider them to be craft and meh, you know, but this is offering those grainy notes in a way that I really enjoy, that actually brings a lot to this particular whiskey. But I'm gonna go in for another taste quick. Yeah, so sweet. I almost want to say I get a little bit of a leathery note there on the finish of the palate, coming along with that rye spice. It's rye spice and leather. It does have an oak presence, but it also has some very sweet caramel, butterscotchy notes in this one as well. Maybe a bit of burnt brown sugar in here, but overall, really, really nice glass of whiskey, and they're doing some pretty great stuff over at J. Henry. Now, before I give this bottle a grade, guys, leave in the comments if you've had any kind of Wisconsin bourbon, and what is your favorite Wisconsin bourbon, because I know a lot of people love the Driftless Glen, but this J. Henry & Son is honestly just as popular here in Wisconsin, and they have some limited edition offers, so there's definitely reaching up there for the Wisconsin brands. But that being said, it's time to give this bottle a grade, and when I'm thinking of whiskey that I want to drink all the time, this kind of has been creeping up on me because it's just something about it is so refreshing and good. I think it's that light fruity notes coming in with all their grain forwardness and that sweet corn, but it's just like really quite interesting. So overall, I'd say if I was giving this whiskey a grade, I would put it at the 8.6 category. It's $54, so it's definitely not cheap. However, I do think that the juice in this bottle, especially coming from all these local farms and everything that has to do with the fact that it's Wisconsin, true bred Wisconsinite, I think it's worth the $54, especially if you're from Wisconsin or if you just haven't had it. Definitely pick it up. 8.6, that's a grade for this one. That being said, one more announcement before I finish. This is probably the last time that you guys are going to see me with this setup. I know, sad, but it's a great thing because my bar is almost finished, and once it is going right here in the room, and I'm going to be sitting at that with some new shelves hopefully behind me and some decoration, so it won't be so bland. That being said, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and if you did, make sure you go pick up a bottle of this J. Henry & Sons because it's great stuff. So please hit the like button if you guys liked the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next class.